Hello and welcome back. Now, we've moved away from text and content creation for text and copy, where either you create your own text, write your own copy, or have it made for you by outsourcing. And now we've moved over to the image side of things, that is cover images, illustrations, and we need to look at, again, at the same two options, creating our own images, either using free or paid content, i.e. we're buying images and then we're manipulating them to create our own image. The other side of the equation is just outsourcing the whole image creation content altogether. So there's going to be about 3 videos. This first one is going to where to source images. That's either for free or paid images. The next one will be once you have an image, how you can manipulate it and come up with your final finished picture that you can upload to Kindle. And finally we'll have a video on about where you can outsource and find good outsourcers for image and cover creation. Okay, we are back on the Amazon bestsellers page, and we're looking down at the 100 paid in the cartoon section, 100 paid top sellers. And I think you can see that images, particularly for children's images, it's very important that we get the image right. The strength and intensity of color and the inventiveness and humor of the image is very, very important. So one tends to think, looking at these, and unless you're a real artist or you're very good with image editing software, that maybe the best solution is to actually outsource it if the cost is right. But I do want to give you the option that you can actually create an image yourself, and to do that, I think what I want to do is show you some of the images I've created myself, and then we can get some kind of idea as to whether this is going to be possible for the children's niche market. Now, the images I tend to create for myself tend to be for the more adult books. Here's one. It's all about a niche market that I tend to write quite a lot in, which is about angels, but it's taken from a photographic image, and I'll show you just shortly after this where you can get hold of these photographic images. And literally what I do is I buy a photographic image from a stock library resource, and then I add text. I might do a little bit of manipulation of the image. I might revolve the image, I may crop it, I may cut a few things out by just using sort of eraser function, but on the whole I literally take an image which is a photograph and I add text. And it's very effective with a lot of the adult books because you do want clear, uncluttered images. We've talked about this, and you can get the text. As you can see from this image, there's a lot of background clear space with a nice blue background to it, and it works very well having the text on that. And this has worked very well for this image. If I look at something else, here's another book down here, which was another one of mine. That can work very well. But on the whole, I have found, there's a few exceptions, that photographic images with text work very well for adult covers, book covers, and even internal pictures, illustrations within a book. But the younger the audience, the more they want an illustration. And when you get to illustrations, that can become very hard. You really do need to be an artist or have sort of Photoshop and photo editing skills. Here's a book cover which again I created to do with a series of ghost stories. A little bit more of an illustration, I suppose. Here's one, here's another one, and again all I did was take the image that was available in the stock resource facility, which I'm about to show you, and I just added text. It works very well as a children's image. Here's another one in landscape format, again just taking an image. These 3 images, these ghost story images, are part illustration, part photo, but whatever it was, the images were available in the stock resource website that I accessed, and again I just literally added added text. But had it just been a photograph of a ship, I don't think it would have been as effective for the children's markets, because an artist has got involved with these images already, even before I came along, and I just bought the image after the artist had sort of manipulated the image a bit. So this backs up my theory that the younger the audience, the more you need to rely on illustration rather than photo. But I will show you nonetheless how to go about this process of where you can get hold of these images, where you can get them for free, where you can pay for them, and then how you can adapt them to come up with putting text on a finished image that you can upload to Kindle. And then later on we'll look at how to outsource far more vibrant, colourful illustrations, as it were, for children's books. Okay, where do you go to get these images, and what sort of price can you expect to pay? There's several sites. What you're really looking for is go to the internet and search for royalty-free images, and then one of the best royalty-free images free sites that I've come across is this one called Stock Exchange, and again I'll put the web address in the resource section, but the web address is www.sxc.hu. Stock Exchange. These are royalty free, and they are actually free images for people to use. It's actually very confusing. It's annoyed me for many years when I bought images. When they talk about royalty free, a lot of people think that they're free to use without any payment, without any infringement of copyright. Remember, these pictures have been taken by someone, and whoever takes the pictures actually owns the copyright. If they decide to make them royalty free, they may charge for these images, and then you can use the images once you've paid a fee once. You can use them as many times as you like in whatever format. Other times they'll make them completely cost and royalty free. So there's a difference between royalty free, and most people just call all these images royalty free, but usually you have to pay a fee, and then it's free to use. And then there is cost and royalty free. So in other words, a site like this is cost and royalty free. There's stock images. You don't have to pay a fee, and you are free to use them whichever way you wish. There are usually some disclaimers, and there are usually a few rules and regulations whenever you come across a site, and it's worth bearing in mind you should look at them to see exactly how and in what way you may use them. There are some restrictions. The restrictions usually show up when you're about to download, either if you've got them for free and you're about to download them, or whether you've paid and you're about to download them. You will see a section which will say restrictions. Always bear in mind and look at the restrictions. But by and large, if you're just using them for an ebook, if it's a cost and royalty free site, then there's no restriction, and the same again for just a straight simple royalty-free site when you've paid a fee. Okay, so image categories. Usually what you'll do, you'll have to sign in and create an account, but you can just search for photos under whatever category you may choose. I just type children's into that to get a general view. There's 35 images, but you're not going to get the variety that you're after, or the quality that you're after, when you're accessing a site which is cost and royalty free, i.e. you're not paying anything at all. But you've got to be very specific with your search criteria. I mean, it may be you just want to type in lion, something like that, see what we get here. Okay, so you get quite a few lines. If you're just after a basic line, that would do the trick. Very nice line. You can use that if you so wish, and that won't cost you a penny. Let's see. Okay, now if you want a bit more variety and certainly a lot more choice, you might have to expect to pay. Now sometimes you can pay a huge amount to, even if it's a royalty-free site, but you're having to pay a fee up front before you can use them in any format that you wish. You might have to pay anything $5, $10, $20, anything up to $100 for an image. But the site which I like and I use on a regular basis is actually, before we go on to that, there's another free, royalty-free, cost and royalty-free site I want to alert you to. This also will be in the resources section. It's a UK-based site called freeimages.co.uk. Let's see, we'll have a look at the about. So 6,000 free stock photos as opposed to just royalty free. Okay, I've just clicked in the About section, and how does free images work? So as I told you, there are some conditions, particularly if you're not paying for a fee, and you need to check out the conditions. Here it says simple: browse the site for an image you like and download it. If you use it in a design of any kind, you need to mention it, i.e. you have to give the resource or where you got it from. Mention that we were the source of the image. Check the full terms for details. So always check. So you can't expect to get something for nothing. They want to get some sort of recognition for the fact that they were the source for the image, and that's how you go about that. Usually if you're paying for a fee for a royalty-free image, then you don't have to do that. Okay, so the site that I use, and I do expect to pay a fee, but I don't pay very much. I usually pay a dollar. Actually, no, sorry, £1 for an image, usually. It's a site called Fotolia. The website address is en.fotolia.com. Fotolia. Again, it'll be in the resources section. You need to sign up, get a free account. You can add funds into your shopping cart via PayPal if you so wish. See here, I've got 5 credits. If I look in my Lightbox, you can save pictures that you like into a Lightbox, and you can divide your Lightboxes into categories and subcategories. If I look at my Lightbox, various subcategories, children's, Kindle ebooks. Now some of the images I've used on this training are in here, and some I've bought, some I've just reserved to look at later. Okay, you'll recognize some of these, but on the whole these will cost you about £1 to download and use in any way which you feel you'd like to use them. It may be that if you're using, if we look at this one here, let's take a look at this picture. Say 1 credit, that'll cost you about £1. Okay, or it's about $70, 70 cents if it's in the US. So you pay that and you download, and you can use it as you wish. That's roughly the size image that you'll get for 1 credit. If you're looking for an image to use as the book cover for your ebook, you really need to have a slightly larger image, and I'd recommend the 3 credits one. So you're looking for about £3. But if you're just using for internal illustration within the book, the standard XS, extra small, is usually sufficient for your needs. Okay, but book cover, 3 credits. And there's a fantastic variety. I mean, I don't think you'll ever go wrong with a site like this, whatever subject you're after. And even if you're after illustrations, remember I was saying that illustrations are more suited for children's books as opposed to straight photographs. If I go look at my other light boxes, let's see, beautiful scenery. I mean, if I was writing a book about writing a book about sort of beautiful places to visit, then some of these pictures would be perfect, just literally to buy, and then with the simple image editing software, which I'm going to alert you to in the next video, you could just put some text and your author's name or your pen name on, and it'll be perfectly acceptable. And again, remember, it's ideal because you don't want to try and clutter images. I've mentioned that, and one of the things that authors and indie authors are guilty of, and I should alert you to this at this point, is trying to tell you too much about the book all in the image. So they're trying to, you may have several subjects going on within the book, and you may be trying to get over several messages with the image. Don't fall into that trap. Literally just keep it to one simple theme. Don't try and say it's about a burglar who's on the run from the police, but he finds himself in beautiful surroundings and falls in love. It's just too much. Just try and get one message, one image. Say keep it simple, and bear in mind that it does have to work as a thumbnail. These are the thumbnails, and if it's too complex at this level, again, don't go with it. I've used this, actually no, something very similar to this this one, and with some simple text. And where you're going to be putting the text, you don't want it to be cluttered in the background. You want it to be a fairly clear patch of space to put text in. Okay, so if you decide you want to have one of these images, if I look in my cart, my shopping cart, actually if we go back we can see that in more detail. Say we decide this image we're going to have, and literally we would click and download, and £3 will be deducted from our balance, and we do a straight download to our account somewhere on our PC, and we're away. Just generally when you're doing a search, again up here the keyword search, say you want to type in the same topic here, lion, and we've got all these lions. We do have, there is more choice, not just photographic but also illustrations when you're looking at stock photo sites which are paid, even though they're royalty free. All you do, if you, in this particular site, if you want to add it to a lightbox for viewing later, you click that. If you want to put it straight into a shopping cart, you're not committed at that point, but it just goes into a shopping cart list. So we put that there, add, and we click view shopping cart, and I've got tons of other in my shopping cart which I'm using as a sort of lightbox as well. But if we click on the end, it'll be down here, and if I wanted it I'd click that, and then I'd click agree terms, download file, and that would be it. £1 deducted from my balance of my credits here, and then we're away. Okay, in the next video I'm going to be showing you how to use some free image editing software where you can take an image such as the ones I've just shown you, and you can put some text over the top with the title of a book, or even if it's to be used internally within the book, it could be sort of Joe Goes to School, or you don't even have to have any text on it at all, even if it's an internal image. Okay, that's that. I'll speak to you then.